here's your conservative, but not bitter host, Todd Huff.
Ah, yes, that is right. You are listening to Conservative, Not Bitter Talk. I am your host, Todd Huff. Look, we are tackling issues, talking about things that, it is an intense time for sure. America has been through a lot here in the past, the past couple of months in particular. And there's just a lot to go through. We want to be able to, be able to share thoughts and opinions here without, some risk or fear of retribution. Which, I look at Drew Brees yesterday. I look at the New York Times. I want to talk about that maybe if possible this hour as well. There's just so many things running through my head. So many issues out there. And just so much to navigate here. But you can email me your thoughts, questions, feedback, adoration, and praise will also be accepted by this host, Todd at ToddHuffShow.com. We're streaming on YouTube. While you're here, if you're checking out the program on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel as it will help us reach more folks. We just started trying to grow our YouTube channel. Most of the people that watch, or I should say listen to this program, do so on our two radio stations. That's Freedom 95 in Indianapolis, 95.9 FM, 950 AM. Also on KYAH, 540 AM Utah, Utah's Talk Authority. But we're trying to grow our social, the amount of people we can impact on social. So I appreciate if you would subscribe to our YouTube channel. So let's get into, last hour we went through a lot of things. I shared with you some Candace Owens thoughts on George Floyd at the end of the program. She's basically saying what she said was the African American, the black community is the only community, she says, and she got the idea from one black conservative author, and she kind of developed it and argued for this. And she listed three authors, and I'm forgetting the one that I think she said was the author that said it. It wasn't Thomas Sowell. It wasn't Walter Williams. It was another, and I'm just drawing a blank at the moment. But nonetheless, she basically said that the black community, Candace Owens said, is the only community that kind of lifts up and exalts people within it that are criminals, is what she said. Now, I'm saying she said, and I'm just saying, reporting or talking about this. She says that the Jewish community doesn't do this, the Hispanic community doesn't do this, the white community doesn't do this, all this sort of stuff. And, there's just, as I shared before, I think one of my overarching problems with where we find ourselves today, again, protests are fine. I got a problem clearly with riots. As I've said before, if someone is confused about whether or not they're attending a protest or a riot, there are a few key indicators here. As I'm watching people in Chicago walk down the streets with Foot Locker bags that they looted. Here's someone storming in St. Louis, the 7-Eleven, Los Angeles, a pharmacy. This is B-roll footage on Fox News. But when your protest becomes a riot, when you see people smashing windows, throwing bricks, you're no longer attending a protest, you're attending a riot. When you see people lighting fires, dancing on police cars, threatening officers, you're no longer attending a protest, you're attending a riot. When you see people looting, storming businesses, setting them on fire, destroying things, taking whatever they please, you're no longer attending a protest, you're attending a riot. And this is something we all know. This is not some confusing thing. And so obviously that's that is the biggest problem right now is the violence and the rioting, right? And it's unfortunate that people who are trying to speak out against this, which by the way doesn't include apparently a lot of the media, because there's not just the looting and the general rioting, there's legitimate threats being placed upon law enforcement, and I want to get to that this hour because that part matters as well. And so we're overlooking that aspect. Now, the Black Lives Matter side basically tells us we have to ignore all these other things and look at the core issue of what they're trying to draw attention to, which is the injury and death of black suspects or black Americans at the hands of police. And again, I'm looking here now, police defunding proposals all around the country. So this is going to be the next movement. This is the solution. This is the solution to what we're seeing. New York City, Phoenix, LA, Nashville, Tennessee, which is becoming more and more liberal, Nashville, Tennessee. But we're going to look at cities or governments wanting to defund to some degree police, which is right up Antifa's alley. So way to go. Way to walk right into what they want. I don't understand how less money is going to make people more safe. Yes, there are examples. Again, there are circumstances that are atrocious, what we've seen from law enforcement officers. But again, it looks as though cities have bought into the lie that it's systemic. It's something wrong fundamentally. The problem is with the individuals that we see. Again, I look at this situation in Minneapolis. This started as a protest to make sure that there was justice for George Floyd. All 4 officers have been arrested. All 4 officers have been charged. Heck, some of the officers, the bail was set at or near $1 million. And so the process has begun. All the folks that they wanted to see charged and arrested have been charged and arrested. So what exactly, as it pertains to George Floyd, can we do at this point? That has to play out. If the protests are now designed to tell us that we need to get justice quicker, it's been almost 2 weeks now. I was on, again, I don't want to make this about me, but I was on a jury trial. I wasn't the defendant, I should point out. I was a jurist. I was one of the folks on the jury, or a juror, I should say. And the trial took I think almost 2.5 weeks, 2.5 week trial. And, there's all sorts of questions for me looking through that lens as I look at these charges, as I look at the evidence, as I look at the definitions of what these crimes are. If this goes, these alleged crimes, if this goes to trial, which may be completely impossible for these officers to get a fair trial in their state, so they may have to negotiate some plea deals. But if they go to trial, I mean, these things are not easy to prove. I'm not saying that they can't. I'm not saying that the behavior is defensible. I'm just saying that crimes have definitions. And, my mind starts thinking over to what are they going to do? What's going to happen if this does go to trial and someone is found not guilty or at least not guilty of the highest crime? Maybe it's just, the manslaughter crime versus second-degree murder. What's going to happen at that point? I also find myself asking what's going to happen in November with these rioters if Trump wins the election. I mean, it's not going to affect my vote or the way I look at this whatsoever. That's what they want. And by the way, may I say, definition of terrorism, Antifa. Terrorism is using violence or the threat of violence to achieve a political outcome. And we're watching domestic terrorism before our eyes on the riot and violence side of this. Protesters, totally fine, expressing their opinions, their concerns, trying to get people to understand, hear what's just to hear what is the issues that need to be addressed. And there's a process by that. All that stuff is happening. And again, we're looking at police defunding which again is not good. But this is the bigger concern here. One of the bigger concerns that I'm looking at, in addition to the police violence, which we'll get, or the violence against police, or the threats against police, which we'll get to as this hour unfolds, but is this narrative that basically doesn't want people who have opinions outside what's considered politically acceptable to share those. And right now, I mean, we have kind of silenced people who are making other points or pointing out other things, to where now we have these proposals in some cities for police defunding. And I think people are hesitant, because if you step up and say, hey, we don't need police defunding, we just need better police officers, better training, more awareness, and all these other things, get the bad people off, the force, whatever that specifically looks like. If you say that, you'll see they'll say Black lives don't matter, that you don't think Black lives matter. Well, that's not the only solution here. I still want safety in my community. There's still other crimes that are being committed, right? Again, it's like COVID. I mean, there's just, to me, so many similarities between COVID and the way that this narrative of where we find ourselves today with all this tension has turned to. I mean, when, you looked at the deaths for COVID, it was, anything that could possibly be counted as COVID. Someone may have come to the hospital for something else. They tested positive for COVID. That's counted as a COVID death. It's as though no other ailment existed at the time in the minds of some people. You saw the emergency room visits for heart attacks and strokes had dropped significantly. But you think, but those things are still happening. What were they doing? What was happening there? Were they just getting caught in the COVID data? Their point is, there are other crimes and things that are happening. There are other. It's not just, when we think about police, we have to think about the safety of the community. Of course, we have to think about the safety of the citizens too. I'm 100% on board with that. Regardless, all races, all ethnicities, all genders, all sexual orientations and everything, and we all need to be protected equally under the law. And so, but defunding police, I don't see how that helps anything. But there's pressure if you're not in alignment with what the Black Lives Matter thinks should happen politically. So the first part is they want you have to be, there's pressure to accept the narrative, and then there's pressure to accept the consequence or the political results, what should happen. And I'm not saying everything that's being said is wrong. Of course I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that we shouldn't accept the premise of what they're saying and identify it as a problem and fix it. I'm not suggesting that. But what I am suggesting is that when there's so much pressure and emotion thrown into this, if the people leading the movement are also political leftists, the solutions will be politically left, defunding the police. And if you're not allowed to speak out against that, that, of course, is a problem. And I think that there's pressure, there's uncertainty to speak out, because then you'll be on the other side of the Black Lives Matter movement leaders, and suddenly now you can be branded, oh, here's a guy that just doesn't really care about Black lives. Here's a girl. I saw 3 girls. I saw a video. Some lady driving through D.C., she saw 3 white girls cleaning BLM, a BLM that had been spray painted on the side of a federal building. They were washing it off, and this lady in the car driving by basically kind of verbally assaulted the girls. Why are you scrubbing that off the building? Well, it's a federal building, man. Oh, do Black lives not matter to you? Well, no, it's not that at all. It's actually, we're just trying to clean up graffiti. I bet that's what you're doing. Racist, right? It's incredible how we've gotten here. And we get here in the metaphorical blink of an eye. It's like all reason and logic fly out the window. The amount of American foundational truths and principles that some are willing to throw out the window in the blink of an eye is astonishing to me. It really is. And I've got to take a break. But that is one of the other long-term problems, is that when you look at how this is being addressed, and I'm not talking about any of the specifics of what they're saying about identifying the problem. I'm talking about being able to debate and have a conversation about what the solution looks like and having input. And when one side is afraid to speak because there's this overwhelming narrative. Again, Drew Brees is a perfect example. Wasn't even talking about Black Lives Matter. Simply said he'll never agree with people kneeling during the anthem. That becomes unacceptable. That's unacceptable now. You have to agree with people kneeling for the anthem. Not just accept that they can, you have to agree with it. Folks, that is dangerous territory in a free society. No matter what it is. I would say I'm a Christian. If someone says you have to be forced to believe in biblical Christianity, I would say that's a problem. That's a problem. Shouldn't be forced to believe that. I believe it with all my being. As much, we all have issues at times with faith and doubt, I guess. But I fully embrace this. But the idea that I want someone to be forced to embrace it, that's dangerous. That's when really bad things happen. I like having debate and dialogue. I like to be able to persuade, not simply say this is what you have to believe or we're going to cause hell to unleash on your life. Anyway, really long in this first segment. I got to take a time out. You're listening to Conservative Not Bitter Talk. I'm your host, Todd Huff. Back in just a minute.
Looking to make a conservative, not bitter fashion statement? Check out our apparel online, including brand new items at toddhuffshow.com/shop today.
What if your bank treated you like a person instead of an account number? What if you could sit across from the person you are opening an account with or requesting a loan from and have an actual conversation? You may be thinking, Todd, that's crazy talk. Well, not at Citizens Bank. Come visit them in Monrovia and meet Nick Gibson, their new branch manager, and the rest of their staff. Or give them a call at 317-831-0110. Citizens Bank is an equal housing lender and member FDIC.
Hi, my name is John Swadner, Sales Director of the Todd Huff Show. As a listener of the program, you know the show is growing. 4 years ago, it began as a podcast in a closet. Today, it's a 2-hour show that airs during morning drive in Indy and in Utah, and we're just scratching the surface. Todd brought me on board to help the show and our advertisers grow. That's why I'm specifically looking for partners who are a good fit to advertise with us. Would that be you? To learn more about what advertising would look like and to determine if it's a good fit for your business, shoot me an email to john@toddhuffshow.com. And be sure to ask me about some of our special packages that will save you up to 40%. Email john@toddhuffshow.com. Shoot me an email today.
You rely on your vehicle every day. It's not a member of the family, but you spend as much time with it as most family members. You wouldn't take your family to just any doctor, so don't trust your vehicle to just any repair service. At Raymond's Auto and Truck Repair in Plainfield, we have well-trained, caring technicians that have the expertise to get you back on the road. For 25 years, we've been servicing personal, commercial, and fleet vehicles. Give us a call at 317-838-7112 for the car service you deserve.
Ever ask yourself, what does my business insurance actually cover? Well, at AIA and Avon, we think you deserve to know. AIA is focused on earning your trust. We've found that when we educate our clients and truly listen to them, they allow us to work alongside them to put together the insurance plan they need. Whether your business is big or small, give AIA a call, 317-718-1747, or find out what we can do for you at AIA4lowrates.com. Advertisement sponsored by Grange Insurance.
Are you concerned about your investments? Intrepid Financial has been educating, customizing, and servicing Hoosier investment portfolios since 1998. Our family-owned and operated business builds strong bonds with our clients. When you call, we answer the phone, always ready to walk you through your investment strategy. Intrepid means without fear. We want our clients to be fearless, to feel secure with their investments. Give us a call at 317-818-1776 or visit us online at intrepidfinancial.com.
The compassion of Christ compels us to stop what we're doing and seek that person out. I think as Jesus went in that famous song I sang as a little kid was Zacchaeus, come down. Zacchaeus was in a tree and he wanted to engage with Jesus, but he just couldn't, and Jesus stopped and he went over to him. If we are going to live a life of compassion, the compassion of Christ, are we willing to stop and seek those who need a touch of compassion today?
If you own a rental property, you know the hassles of marketing, renting, collecting, and the handling of maintenance and repairs. One call to Zuluscape can put an end to your property management headaches. Zuluscape has over 20 years of experience helping landlords throughout central Indiana and taking the stress out of owning a rental. From A to Z, let Zuluscape handle it all so you can enjoy owning a rental instead of hating being a landlord. Give us a call at 317-663-8485 or visit our website at zuluscape.com.
Welcome back. Navigating here this this multifaceted, multi-layered issue. I mean, we've gotten into other areas. Now we're talking about defunding police departments. That's what's now being proposed in cities. But I want to talk specifically, and I've talked about this earlier in the week as well. But there's another part of this that I still feel like is not being addressed in this debate and dialogue, and that is the safety of officers. That is the safety of officers. So I there's maybe some things I've talked with officers offline, and I always promise to protect their identity and not share specifics, but some of this stuff is publicly known. But officers are at real risk now. So the methods used by the rioters have changed. In fact, you may have seen that they want rioters, the Antifa crowd, they want them to move further out into the suburbs. They want them to move, 20, 30 miles out from the downtown areas. And you may have seen, I forgot about this, I saw a little bit yesterday from Project Veritas where someone had actually infiltrated an Antifa group. I can't remember the city. I can look it up during the break. But this individual, a man, of course, we don't know anything about him because they had to protect his identity, because you're really at risk when you cross the lines of infiltrating Antifa. I mean, these folks, I am telling you, the scourge of the earth. This is, they want, I read, I don't have it here in front of me, but I've read the 10-point plan or whatever of what Antifa, I about said ISIS, but you know why I almost said ISIS? Because they've met with ISIS. The FBI has told us back in 2017 they found Antifa members, Antifa, whatever they call themselves, meeting with ISIS and coordinating. In fact, the FBI said that they believe that there's ISIS members that are now part of Antifa. They're using presumably, ostensibly the same tactics. They're learning from one another on how to cause chaos, destruction, and, death, folks. If you look at the infiltration of this group by this gentleman who's working with, or however that works, that relationship with Project Veritas, it is astonishing what they're telling these people in closed, supposedly secret meetings, but he was able to get a video recorder in there, and you could hear, telling, you just listen to, they would tell the people things like, I'm summarizing, but, we want you to be violent, but we got to be careful. We got to be careful that it doesn't appear violent. We got to make sure that the cameras aren't around. We got to protect ourselves. But we want you all to dress completely in black, covered from head to toe, so that no one can be identified when committing a crime. This is like you join a new group. In fact, our Bible study. I think we're getting our Bible study together tonight. Yeah, we haven't done that in a while. Small group, whatever you want to call it. Getting together for, s'mores or something tonight. But you have that initial meeting, this get to know you thing. Antifa's get to know you meeting is, here's how we want you to beat people up. They talk about eye gouging. Hey, the eyes are very sensitive. You might be able to pop an eyeball out there. I don't think they said that, but they might as well have said that. I know brass knuckles were mentioned. These are not peaceable Americans. These are not folks who want to find some way to work together. These are people who want to see the overthrow of the government. I know it sounds nuts. I know some folks in their minds are reeling from what we're dealing with here. We're talking about the rioters. They want to exploit this situation for gain. But these folks want, so the tactics are much greater and much more problematic, concerning than even what we thought, I guess, that they were. So now there are tactics, ISIS, Antifa. These terms may be almost interchangeable now, ISIS and Antifa. But Antifa, again, whatever, they want to be portrayed as anti-fascist. They are the very definition. These anarchists are fascists. Anyway, so there's other tactics, and these tactics include effectively ways to ambush police officers, and not just ambush police officers. They're not content with just that. They're not content with just killing police officers. They want to identify the police officers. They've been there's stories of them following police officers, taking videos and pictures of their homes, of their vehicles. And then, what are they doing with this? Well, if you read what they say and if you take them seriously, they tell you exactly what they want. They want to not just kill police officers, they want to destroy and eliminate their bloodline. This is what they're saying. So kill a police officer, ambush them, find out where they live, go and, effectively kill the family. It's incredibly crazy, off the charts, violent stuff. And where do you hear this talked about? Where? How is this good? How is this not part of this dialogue? How is defunding the police departments? And I'm not saying that there's no fat to trim, we're talking about defunding. We're talking about now city councils or whatever this stuff is have identified what they see as the problem, which is the police have too much funding. We need to take away funding so that they don't have as much power. I'm not in favor of police power. I'm in favor of police being able to do their job as safely as possible. Not so they can accumulate power and have more, take away the liberties of people. I know individual officers aren't doing that, but I'm just talking about, that's not the rationale behind it. The rationale is we have real crimes committed by real people, and we need to have the real resources to deal with it. And if we're dealing with a situation where there is an insurgency effectively, and Antifa is using techniques that were kind of used on even our troops in, say, Fallujah, try to get officers entrapped like they tried to get, Marines or, other military personnel trapped, or get them to take bring them to a certain area to cut them off and isolate them and ambush them. If that's what's happening, and we have evidence that this is what they want, this is what they're planning, this is what they desire to see happen, and we're talking about defunding the police, defunding it, not just trimming the fat, not saying, freeze on raises or anything like that. Not, maybe we wait another year to upgrade the fleet or whatever. No, not talking about that. Talking about defunding, because it's systematically or systemically the problem in America that we're dealing with. See, this part of the argument is totally being ignored. And we have officers getting shot at frequently. We don't even hear about the vast majority of those. I've heard officers say that this is effectively the most terrifying time it's ever been to be an officer for lots of reasons. And it's as though we don't seem to care as a country, because that doesn't fit this other narrative that leads down political paths that talk about defunding the police or whatever, right? More Again, not that everything that's being said by that narrative is wrong or doesn't need to be heard. I'm not suggesting that at all. I'm simply saying there's more to this story. There's more to what's going on, and there has to be some balance here. There has to be some consideration for this side of the issue. It's another side of the same coin, and it's totally being ignored. Anyway, long in this segment as normal. So I want to stop here and take a time out, come back, continue our discussion. In fact, I want to play, I think, a soundbite from Tucker Carlson. I think he summarized things pretty well. I don't know if it was last night or recently on one of his programs. I want to share that with you and my thoughts along with it. Sit tight, be back in just a minute.
Like what you hear on Todd's show? Why not get more by signing up for Todd's free Semi-Sweet Morsels of Truth newsletter? To subscribe, visit toddhuffshow.com/subscribe or text HUFF to 31996.
Hi, I'm Greg Hubler from Greg Hubler Chevrolet. You know, a promise can get lost in a big city, but in a smaller town, a promise made had better be a promise kept. That's why the Greg Hubler Promise covers every vehicle we sell. All new Chevys receive a 3-year, 45,000-mile scheduled maintenance, plus complimentary roadside assistance and a free car wash with every visit. A promise made is a promise kept. Stop by Greg Hubler Chevy today or visit GregHublerChevy.com. Find new roads.
Anxiety, depression, relationship problems, past trauma. Problems rarely get better when given time. Care to Change counseling can help. Our professionals combined evidence-based care models with scripture to get you on the path to a productive life. We are here to help you make the changes you need for a healthier, happier you. Take that brave step today. Call Care to Change at 317-790-9396 or visit caretochange.org.
Business leaders, are your employees satisfied with their jobs? Do they enjoy coming to work and feel valued? Workforce Chaplains can help. Locally owned, we work with organizations to provide holistic care to their employees. I'm Marcus Schrader, president of Workforce Chaplains, and we offer your team a 24/7 support system that positively affects your company's culture and productivity. With our personalized pricing and diverse support system, we handle the issues that you wish you had time for. To learn more, visit us at workforcechaplains.com.
Geothermal tax credits are back, making this the perfect time to install a new Climate Master geothermal system. Take advantage of this limited time 26% tax credit and begin cutting your heating and cooling bills immediately. Visit indianageothermal.com/info to get your free Climate Master information kit or call 317-829-1490. Visit indianageothermal.com/info or call 317-829-1490. Geothermal, it's cheaper than you think.
Healthcare is expensive and complicated. Did you know that as a Christian business owner, it is possible to provide access to affordable health benefits for your employees? Remodel Health has helped employers across the United States save over $22 million in the past 3 years. Our innovative approach allows your employees to have the health benefits they need at a cost you can afford. Go to remodelhealth.com/Todd to help your employees find the health care they deserve. Remodel Health. Rethink employee health benefits.
Seems like just yesterday that you couldn't find a quiet place to think in your home. Now all the kids have flown the nest and you find yourself wondering what to do with all of that extra space. This is Bruce of Bruce Richardson Realty. My team and I understand that life changes, and so do your home needs. So whether you're downsizing or upsizing, give us a call at 317-507-3285. Let us help you find the best fit for your residential or your commercial property needs. 317-507-3285.
This is the sound of your typical do-it-yourselfer in completely over his head.
For heating, plumbing,
and electrical done right.
Call Mr. Quick. Call Mr. Quick. Dial the number, spell the word. For on time.
Wallace Construction is a family-owned business with 45 years experience in asphalt, concrete, and seal coating. At Wallace Construction, our wide variety of experience and top-notch customer service have helped us build a strong reputation in central Indiana. But we don't rest on that reputation. We build it, one job at a time. If you have an upcoming project, call us at 317-422-5356. That's Wallace Construction, 317-422-5356, and ask for Richard or Roger.
Welcome back. I tell you, sometimes here behind the scenes, it's some of the things that we chat about and have fun with. But anyway, okay, so I mentioned Tucker. See, I was over here messing around, having fun behind the scenes, and I didn't pull this up. I guess as I'm thinking about this, and Oz did point this out during the break, because I was talking about Antifa and, police forces, or at least cities wanting to cut funding for local police forces. And you've seen Jeremiah Ellison. Oh, good old Jeremiah Ellison. What is he? He's some, what's his position? City councilman, Minneapolis. So city councilman, well, I don't want to say, I'm going to hold back that comment, but he's the son of Keith Ellison. Keith Ellison could have been the DNC. I mean, Tom Perez is now, but we could have Keith Ellison leading the DNC now as well. Radical people. Jeremiah Ellison, Keith Ellison's son. Keith Ellison now is the Attorney General of Minnesota. And so what does Jeremiah Ellison say? We talked about defunding. What about dismantling police departments? We're going to dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department. He says this in a tweet yesterday. Let me read this. We are going to dismantle the Minneapolis Police Department, and when we're done, we're not simply going to glue it back together. We're going to dramatically rethink how we approach public safety and emergency response. It's really past due. He also is the same one. This isn't funny. It isn't funny because it's so serious, but my, how in the world we can have people who openly embrace and endorse terrorist organizations. I'm going to go on the record here as saying Jeremiah Ellison, who is a councilman in the city of Minneapolis, the state of Minnesota, he is aiding and abetting terrorism. He's supporting terrorist organizations. This was tweeted at the end of May. I hereby declare, he says, officially, my support for Antifa, whatever. I don't care. This is what he's out there tweeting. Unless someone can prove to me that Antifa is behind the burning of black and immigrant-owned businesses in my ward, I'll keep focusing on stopping the white power terrorists are actually attacking us, whatever that means. It's, I guess, that are actually attacking us. So the white power terrorists. So is he calling the police force terrorists here? I mean, I don't even know what he's saying. He's officially declaring his support for Antifa, and he says he's going to dismantle the police department. If you read the steps, the 10-point plan, which I've done on this program, I mean, he is literally walking us down it. He's helping Antifa execute their plans. I mean, in my definitions and worldviews, well, no, not even that. Just in applying basic logic, that is aiding a terrorist organization. We literally have a councilman doing that, and proud to do that. And I'm sure he's applauded for that. That's great. These people are being misrepresented, and Antifa being misrepresented. The heck they are. This group is the scourge of the United States right now. But he's officially supporting them because Trump said that they're terrorists. That reminds me, I want to stop. This time, I promise you during the break, I'm going to get the soundbite queued up where from Tucker Carlson, he says some things that I think are appropriate and good, a pretty good summary of what's going on here. So I'll share that with you after the break. But my, oh my, we are past. I told someone this the other day. Some people are thinking that the conversations that we're having now, I'm particularly talking about Antifa, violence, attempts to, really stage a coup, effectively. A revolution, if you will. We're no longer in the days of talking about we're setting the stage for these things to happen. This isn't the late 90s, early 2000s when you can start talking about some of these things. We're there, folks. And I know for people who haven't followed this very closely for a while, this may be too much to comprehend, but I'm telling you, we better adjust our thinking and realize that there are people who are straight up leading and trying to organize violent overthrows of our government and revolution in this country. That is happening. That is happening right before our very eyes, even though the media acts as though it's not. Even though the media wants to tell you that Donald Trump is the fascist, the real threat to our system of government. Meanwhile, we've got a group that's stated purpose is to kill. They want the death of the United States of America. That's Antifa. And I've got to wrap up and take this break. Come back. I'm going to share this Tucker Carlson clip. I think you'll find it pretty well done. Pretty good summary. So we'll do that when we get back. Sit tight and back in just a minute.
Listen to Todd's show on your way to work, but want to hear more? Don't miss a beat. Visit toddhuffshow.com/listen to catch the program anytime, anywhere.
I love my community, and I wanted to do more to make a difference with my hard-earned dollars. I wanted to make an impact and help shape our future and our county. So I gave money to the Community Foundation of Morgan County. More than just charitable giving, the money I donate is tracked and measured so every dollar is held accountable. It's a social return on your investment. Why don't you join me in donating at cfmconline.org? That's cfmconline.org. Philanthropy with measurable impact.
All right, here we go. $100 down, $200 $300.
I went to my first firearms auction a few years ago. It was hosted by TJ Freege, one of my good friends from high school, who is a champion auctioneer and one of the best in the business. In spite of objections from liberal legislators, I walked away with a .22 rifle and a few boxes of ammunition. And I had a great afternoon with my grandpa that I won't soon forget. If you've ever wondered what treasure you could find in an auction, visit FreegeAuctioneers.com and take a look at their upcoming Central Indiana auction schedule. That's Freege, Freije, auctioneers.com. Visit FreegeAuctioneers.com.
Hi, I'm TJ Freege, owner and lead auctioneer at Freege & Freege Auctions and Marketing. I invite you to come see the power of live auctions. It's fast, it's fun, it's transparent, and it's the absolute best way to ensure you get fair market value for your asset today. Get results, go auction.
You rely on your vehicle every day. It's not a member of the family, but you spend as much time with it as most family members. You wouldn't take your family to just any doctor, so don't trust your vehicle to just any repair service. At Raymond's Auto and Truck Repair in Plainfield, we have well-trained, caring technicians that have the expertise to get you back on the road. For 25 years, we've been servicing personal, commercial, and fleet vehicles. Give us a call at 317-838-7112 for the car service you deserve.
What if your bank treated you like a person instead of an account number? What if you could sit across from the person you are opening an account with or requesting a loan from and have an actual conversation? You may be thinking, Todd, that's crazy talk. Well, not at Citizens Bank. Come visit them in Monrovia and meet Nick Gibson, their new branch manager, and the rest of their staff. Or give them a call at 317-831-0110. Citizens Bank is an equal housing lender and member FDIC.
Hey Indianapolis, by now you've probably heard about Jody Dowdle with Midwest Tax Group. Jody and his team are experts at helping you prepare your personal or small business tax returns. You can count on Midwest Tax Group to get every deduction possible and work for your higher refund. And not just on this year's taxes, they'll check your prior returns for any tax savings you may have missed for free. Are you behind on filing your returns? They can file past due returns and help negotiate with the IRS too. They complete most tax returns within a week and charge an affordable flat fee, no hourly billing. And as their client, you can consult with the team at Midwest Tax Group year-round at no charge. Midwest Tax Group has 4 office locations in Castleton, Greenwood, Plainfield, and Greenfield, with evening and weekend appointments available. Schedule your appointment today at 317-288-5260. That's 317-288-5260. Or visit their website at mwtaxgroup.com. Midwest Tax Group can help you more than any piece of software ever could.
Welcome back. So, of course, I'm having trouble here finding this Tucker Carlson soundbite. I watched it this morning. I can't seem to locate it. I'm going to have to just summarize it, but I thought he did it so well, I wanted to play it. I don't know where it is, though. I pulled up too many things this morning. Basically, Tucker said, I'm seeing this might be it in here, I'm looking. But he said, this thing has been about Trump the whole time. This situation has been, there's a blind hatred for Trump, and the folks who don't like him cannot come to the point where, here we go. He's going to say it better than I can say it right now. But basically, this whole thing has been about Trump from the beginning. I'm not talking specifically the protests. I'm talking just in general about all the chaos and so forth that has ensued in America, and just some of the directions that this ends up taking. So I want to differentiate, make sure that that's clear. But here's what Tucker Carlson says. Let's listen to him summarize this. Oh, come on, Tucker. Having a problem here. I told you I had found this thing and had trouble finding it. But, okay, here we go. I think it is now queued up. Let us take it from here.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. For the past week, all of us have seen chaos engulf our beloved country. The violence and the destruction have been so overwhelming, so shocking and awful and vivid on the screen, that it's been hard to think clearly about what's going on. Most of us haven't been able to step back far enough to ask even the obvious questions. The most obvious, of course, is what is this really about? What do the mobs want? Well, the thugs looting the Apple store can't answer that question. They have no idea. They just want free iPads. But what about Apple itself and the rest of corporate America, which is enthusiastically supporting the rioters? What about members of Congress, the media figures, the celebrities, the tech titans, all of whom are cheering this on? What do they want out of it? Well, they haven't said. That's the central mystery. Now suddenly it is obvious. It should have been obvious the first day. This is about Donald Trump. Of course it is. We just couldn't see it. For normal people, Donald Trump is a president. You may like him, you may not like him, but either way, there will be another president at some point, and we will move on, as we always have. But for Donald Trump's enemies, there is nothing else. Everything is about Trump. Everything. Donald Trump defines their friendships, their careers, their marriages. Donald Trump affects how they raise their children. Trump occupies the very center of their lives. As long as Donald Trump remains in the White House, they feel powerless and diminished and panicked. They cannot be happy. In everything they do, their overriding goal is to remove Donald Trump from office.
All right, he says a lot more, but that's all I've got time for. But we're talking again about the fallout, not the initial problems, the protests, the concerns. That's a legitimate thing. I don't want that to get caught up in this. But we're talking about all the chaos that has ensued. He's right. This is about Trump. This is about the anger directed at him. This is about just, it's, as folks have said, Trump derangement syndrome. That's really what we're looking at here. When it comes to the craziness that's ensued, again, not the protest, separate that out because that's a different thing altogether. But I've got to wrap up here. Running out of time this segment. Come back and wrap up for the week. You're listening here to the Home of Conservative, Not Bitter Talk. I'm your host, Todd Huff. Back in just a minute.
Is it possible to be a fan of the show if you don't have the gear to prove it? Why not be safe and remove all doubt? Shop for official merchandise at toddhuffshow.com/shop today.
The printing industry has changed a lot since we opened for business in 1931, but what our clients expect from us really hasn't changed. Quality print, fast turnaround, and competitive prices. We've learned a lot at Moeller Printing over 86 years and 3 generations. Why not put that experience to work for you? Call 317-353-2224 and mention discount code RADIO to receive 10% off your first order. Call Moeller Printing at 317-353-2224.
Healthcare is expensive and complicated. Did you know that as a Christian business owner, it is possible to provide access to affordable health benefits for your employees? Remodel Health has helped employers across the United States save over $22 million in the past 3 years. Our innovative approach allows your employees to have the health benefits they need at a cost you can afford. Go to remodelhealth.com/Todd to help your employees find the health care they deserve. Remodel Health. Rethink employee health benefits.
Outside of the federal government, no one likes losing money. Any amount of money, not just the $6 billion the State Department lost. And what makes losing money worse is knowing that we could have done something to stop it. Well, if you have an inefficient furnace, a toilet that won't stop running, or a leaky faucet, you can do something about it. You can call the good folks at Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing. Call 317-831-5279 or visit economyheatingandair.com.
When life is hard for the women you care about, there is help with issues such as widowhood, anxiety, depression, or abuse. They don't have to go through it alone. Peace Restored is there to walk with women through the journey. Peace Restored helps women through free mentoring, counseling, and education. When life is hard, Peace Restored is there to help women you care about find hope and healing. To learn more, visit peacerestored.net.
Radon is an invisible, odorless gas that kills more people than drunk driving. In fact, radon is the leading cause of lung cancer in non-smokers. Is radon threatening the health of your family? Call Radon Environmental at 317-843-0804. Radon Environmental specializes in radon testing and mitigation. The process is quick, easy, and worth it. Radon Environmental wants to make sure your family's health is not at risk. Call 317-843-0804.
Are you an electrician, plumber, or handyman looking for an 8-to-5 job that pays you what you're worth? Copper Ridge Home Services wants you. Our veteran-owned family business offers holiday pay, weekends off, and on-site training for entry-level positions. Our team is growing, so if you have a can-do attitude, we want you to be part of that growth. Ready for a change? Give Copper Ridge a call at 317-839-6100. That's 317-839-6100. Copper Ridge Home Services. We value your time.
Ever ask yourself, what does my business insurance actually cover? Well, at AIA and Avon, we think you deserve to know. AIA is focused on earning your trust. We've found that when we educate our clients and truly listen to them, they allow us to work alongside them to put together the insurance plan they need. Whether your business is big or small, give AIA a call, 317-718-1747, or find out what we can do for you at AIA4lowrates.com. Advertisement sponsored by Grange Insurance.
Welcome back. Biden estimates that 10 to 15% of Americans are just bad people. Oh, I tell you, it just entertains me. I think he should have been more specific. In fact, I was texting here with a friend between the break. I think he should have said something like, science has proven 13.6% of Americans are bad people. It's a fact, Jack, as Biden says, wagging his finger maybe at the camera. If you don't believe that, you're a lying, dog-faced pony soldier. I think that would have been exactly what Biden should say. 10 to 15%. You know, he better be careful here because, look, the truth is, if there's 10 to 15% of bad people in America, I think a lot of them are running around burning stuff down. And by my tally, those are folks that are prepared to vote for Biden. He might not want to upset some of these folks as they might make up part of his base. Anyway, I gotta go, guys. Have a great weekend. As always, thank you for listening. SDG. See you Monday. Take care. As a listener of this program, I have no doubt that you embrace the value of hard work, honesty, and integrity. And when you have the opportunity to work with a company that fully embraces and shares these values, I'm sure you jump at it. Economy Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing is just that type of company in Central Indiana.
Jeff and Jod Woods have a team of professional technicians here to help tune up your furnace or install a quality new train system. And they're also here to fix those nasty plumbing problems that seem to happen at the absolute worst time. So the next time you have a plumbing, heating, or cooling need, give the good folks at Economy Heating